Hey guys, it's me. If this is probably my first YouTube video since I came to Quentin Job Corps here in Minot, North Dakota. Yes, I moved up all the way up here to Minot. That's a long story. I'll fill you in on that later. If you notice, this is a brand new phone. Well, if you notice, I'm using a brand new phone. This phone I'm using right now is a Samsung Galaxy Ace style. The previous phone I was using, the shitty one, was a Galaxy Prevail, Samsung Galaxy Prevail phone, and that's kind of like the more rinky-dink one. And so you notice maybe the picture quality and the sound quality is better. That's because I'm using this. But yes, to give a little update, I did move to Fargo. Well, first moved to Fargo. Managed to apply at Quentin Job Corps. Got accepted, and so I moved up here to, move to Minot, and managed to get settled in the Job Corps. My girlfriend Samantha Anderson, she suggested the idea. She suggested Job Corps, and we decided to go with it. It's a little bit of struggle, but we eventually got it. Eventually got the Job Corps. Well, I eventually got the Job Corps. She was already in Job Corps. She suggested the idea to me. I am studying facilities maintenance in Job Corps. I'm currently 81% complete. So, yeah, I came to Job Corps in October 29th. I forget when I first started trade, but it was pretty soon after, about maybe a month to be on Job Corps. On June 27th, I get to come see my girlfriend, visit my girlfriend in Fargo. She had completed and exited Job Corps about a month ago. She was studying office administration. She's an amazing girlfriend, and I love her very much. But anyway, now that I got that little excuse me, I had a Pepsi. Now that I had to have that little update squared away, I figure I'd make a rant. It's not exactly about Job Corps. Yeah, there's some bones I have to pick with Job Corps, on some things. But overall, it's not too bad. Hey, Jordan. How much? Yeah. And that's my friend Jordan Eaglehorse. He's in welding. I think he's getting close to complete, I guess. Anyway, the rant is not about Job Corps. Well, it's somewhat. Here in this Job Corps, we have a single parent dorm. Well, we have the male dorm, the female dorm, and you have the single parent dorm, which is usually single moms with little kids, usually babies, toddlers, basically preschool age kids, infants, little ones like that. Well, I was at the rec tonight, and we're not going to mention this mother's name, because one, I don't know her name, and two, the bitch's name don't even need to be mentioned. Well, the reason I call her bitch is simple. Here's the story. I was at the rec, I ordered a pizza. Managed to get a taco pizza. I ordered cheese pizza. I got taco. I guess that's what they had. So I was fine with it. It's like, okay. Well, I'm drinking my sodas, playing on my phone, my new phone. And of course she has this little baby, she's, little boy's crying, I guess you could say throwing a hissy fit. That's, but he's little. He told him, and here's the part that really got me angry. She told the baby to shut up. Her baby to shut up. Yeah. She told her baby to shut up. Well, kind of gets a little bit worse from there. She keeps telling her baby to shut up. A little bit later, a few minutes later, next thing you know, the baby accidentally falls off the chair he was sitting on, bumps his head. And of course, now he's firing up a storm. Because, he bumped his head. I mean, of course, probably hurt it. For a little guy, I mean, you kind of expect a baby to be crying like that, a lot after that. Because, little boy bumped his head. It's probably going to hurt. I mean, you bump your head into a wall or something hard, that's going to hurt. Baby skull is soft. Floor, hard. As my instructor, Mr. Frank, would say, soft, hard. That's a little bit of story. A little long story, but anyway, back to this story. Okay, little baby falls, bumps his head. He's crying up a storm because he fell and bumped his head, and of course it hurts. Yeah, and she basically scolds her baby for bumping his head. I forget exactly what the bitch was said. My memory's not that great in that area. She picks up the baby, just drops him, throws him in his stroller, like he's just some sack of shit, basically, like some worthless object. Tells the baby to shut up and raises her hand like this, it's like shut up, as if she's about to slap him, like backhanding. I'm just sitting there like, really? Really? I wanted to say something. I wanted to flip on her. I wanted to flip out on the little cunt, but I couldn't. So, I go to the director's office. He's the director for the rec, supervisor the rec. His name is Mr. Perry. And of course, Miss Kayla is there. The student is trying to fix pool sticks. They got their attention. I waited, patiently, and then I reported, told Mr. Perry and Miss Kayla what happened. And I told him what she looked like, and, point out the mother to Miss Kayla, And so, got that situation reported. And I explained to him that it pissed me off. Well, I didn't say that. I said it ticked me off, but this is YouTube, so I'm going to say this. It pissed me off. Yes, it pissed me off. Now, I've been having, personal issues with getting angry, pissed off a lot. And, I've been working on it. Got counseling for that. Okay, that's a little personal story, but, it's gotten better. But there are some things that will just piss me off more than ever. And one thing that will get me getting from cool, calm, and collected to red hot, ready to flip in a matter of seconds is a mother or any single parent or any parent telling their kids to shut up or even abusing them. Because personally, I think that's what happened. To me, the mother committed child abuse. And I was going on about it, and of course, you got two black students, in the private store, and I'm not being racist, at all about this, so don't play the race card on me. They're jumping on my case about how it's none of my business. Well, yeah, it kind of is my business, because when you have some worthless excuse of a mother going and telling her child to shut up and raising her hand as if to backhand the child, basically, that's kind of like a threat. Yeah, then it does become my business. I got morals. Obviously, she doesn't. And of course she's, she's a black mother, she's a student at Job Corps, got a cute baby, of course I think the baby's cute. It's just a little guy, it's just a baby. Maybe what, 1 year old? Maybe a little over a year old. He's little. Of course he's gonna cry if he bumps his head on the fucking floor. Any baby's gonna cry. It's not like, if we're growing up, you fall and if you bump your head hard, you're probably gonna cuss, a little bit, and then rub your head and get back to what you're doing. I bumped my head before. I would say a few cuss words, rub my head and get back to work. Nothing, because I'm an adult, obviously my tolerance for pain is kind of increased. Not saying it won't hurt like hell, but I'm not going to sit and cry about it. Just shake it off and go on. But I don't expect that from a baby. If they fall and they bump their head or whatever, if they, get hurt, yeah, I probably would expect them to be crying like that, because, of course, it's gonna fucking hurt. And obviously the dumb, retarded mother did not understand that. That's kind of one of the many little pet peeves I have while being here in Job Corps. In particular, is that some single mothers do not know how to take care of their children. Now, this doesn't apply to all mothers here in Job Corps. There's a bunch of mothers, young mothers here in Job Corps who have babies. And, not all of them are like that. Not all of them are abusive. In fact, there's many mothers that are loving to their children. They take care of them the way a parent should. They do their best to take care of their children, and they deserve to be commended. They're taking care of the kids. They're getting their trade done. Trying to, get a second chance. Trying to make a successful life for themselves. They deserve praise for that. Because hey, juggling a child and a trade, that's got to be hard. In which I can understand for stress, but I don't care if you're stressed. I don't care if you're cranky. You could be tired. You could have just gotten off trade. Getting your roll call done, picking up your kid from the Child Development Center, as they call it here, basically the preschool. That's great. You can be tired and all that. But should you have the right to tell your child to shut up? Should you have a right to be mean to your child, to be abusive to your child, to raise your hand up as if you're gonna backhand them, as a threat, or threaten to beat the child's ass, like this black mother made? And yes, she was black. I'm not saying this to be racist. I'm not saying this to pull a race card. I'm just being factual. But, I said, no, it's never okay. It's never okay to tell your kids to shut up. It's never okay to raise your hand up as if you're going to backhand them. It's never okay to pick up your child and drop them into a stroller like they're some worthless little thing, like she did. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Native American. I don't care if you're, white, black, red, purple, brown, green, orange, whatever. If I see you abusing your kid, if I'm in Job Corps and I see a mother, being mean or, harsh to her child or being abusive, telling her kid to shut up, I'm probably going to say something. I may not say it directly to the mother, but I'm going to definitely take it up to, take it up to the chain of command, take it up to the proper staff. And if I see Mr. Shepard, our current Senate director, around, I'm going to report it to him. Because I know Mr. Shepard will get things done. If he reports on him and it's serious enough, he will take action. He's a fair man. And so, yeah. But, like I said, it's never okay to tell your child to shut up. It is never okay to... It's not okay to beat your child. It's not okay to slap your child. It's not okay to do anything like that to your child. If your child's misbehaving, you take care... You handle the situation the right way. If they're tired, you put them in your stroller. If you have to, you take them back to your room or take them back home and you put them to bed. If they're misbehaving at home, they're not doing if they're doing something wrong, you correct them. If you have to, you put them on timeout. You don't slap them, you don't hit them, you don't beat them, whatever. You might not be able to spank them. That depends on certain laws. Again, spanking, it's kind of gotten a little bit controversial over the years. It's become a hot topic, controversial issue. I'm not sure what the laws are about spanking. What the laws are in North Dakota about spanking. I'd have to look it up. Some say it's child abuse, some say it's not. Still, whichever way it is, but you gotta, sometimes you gotta take, take control of the situation. If you have to discipline your child, meaning, correct your child's behavior, then you have to. And I'll say this, if there are people that I believe shouldn't have kids. And obviously this mother that I'm referring to, I talk about in this video, obviously to me, she does not deserve to have a child. In fact, to me, she deserves to have her child taken away from her. She deserves to be arrested by the police for child abuse, and she deserves to be sterilized. Never be allowed to be near children again. Never be allowed to have kids again. Child doesn't deserve that. Child doesn't deserve to be beaten or abused or something like that. A child deserves to be loved. A child deserves to be taken care of by his or her parents. A child deserves love and attention and affection and warmth. And yes, if a child needs to be corrected in the right way. To help, to help teach the child, what's right and what's wrong. To teach your child the right behaviors. There's a lot of mothers here that are single and they're in their teens or 20s. Look, I'll say this: if you can't handle the pressures of being a mom, well, then you got two choices. Well, maybe three. Birth control. Either you use birth control. Well, actually, no, let's add four. I just thought of four choice. Either you get your, guy, whoever you're having sex with, you get him to wear a condom. You use birth control. Choice number 2. Choice number 3, you use a condom yourself. Or number 4, you keep your legs shut and you don't go around fucking other guys. Because then you're going to end up having a baby, and then life is going to be that much more harder for you. If you do have a child, you do decide to have a child, then you be a mother. You take responsibility as a parent. You take care of the child. That's your life and blood. That's your offspring. Yeah. That's your son or that's your daughter. That's your child. That little child came out of your womb. And God damn it, that child deserves to be loved. That child deserves to be protected. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't have a child at all. And that's a fact. I'm 23 years old. By standards of age, I'm just a puppy. I'm just a puppy still. I'm young. Am I ready to be a dad yet? No. I'm still in Job Corps. I still got to get a full-time job. I still have, I got to take baby steps in life. I'm in adulthood. I still got to get an apartment. I still got to get things squared with. I got to get settled in. I got to make sure I have enough money, make enough money to where I can support a child. And when I feel I'm ready to be a father, then I will attempt. Then me and my girlfriend, when, hopefully we get married, hopefully decide to have a child, hopefully we'll try to have a child. And I'll tell you right now, if we have a child, I'll be the best damn father that I can be for that child. You know, I'll try to show the same love and affection my dad showed me as a child, when I was a child. You know. But until then, I got ways to go. Now, you could be a mother, you know, get a job quarter, mothers who are in the teens or 20s. They have children. Yes, children can be a handful sometimes. I'm a witness to that. Again, I'm not a dad, but I'm an uncle. I got three nephews, 2 nieces. I got a 7-year-old nephew, a 4-year-old nephew, and a 1-year-old nephew. A nephew that just turned 1 year old this year. I don't get to see him much because I moved up here to Job Corps. I hope I get to see him. I'd love to be able to see the little guy. But I got to see him. He's a cute little guy. His name's Dean. Little baby Dean. I got little Liam. He's 4 years old. And I got Wyatt. He's 7 years old. He's becoming a big boy. You know, he's doing football. Fun of doing football as a wrestler. Anyway. And yeah, I got 2 nieces. Abigail and Lexi. Abigail's 6. Lexi's 4. And yeah, I've lived with, you know, my brother and his fiance, and I've lived in the same house as Wyatt and Abigail have, and you know, and I've seen firsthand the struggle, you know, what goes on, you know how parenthood can be a struggle. So, but hell, at the same time, you know, I may not be a dad, but but at least I think I would know how to take care of a child. At least, you know, like I said, if you can't take care of a child, you shouldn't even have one. And if you do have one, if you do have one, you might as well grow a pair, symbolically. Grow up, be an adult, and take care of that child. That's all I gotta say. I'll try to do more videos, well, you know, here and there in the upcoming months. I don't have any vacuum video, any new vacuum videos to show or anything like that because my Dyson vacuum is left at the house. You know, I was left at the house when I moved up to Minot, or to North Dakota. So maybe when I get a chance to, if I get a chance to visit, maybe if I get a chance to pick up the vacuum or get the vacuum shipped up here to Fargo, to a new apartment that Samantha and I are planning to get. If I can take some of my vacuums up to our new apartment, we will. Definitely will. And I plan to buy a new Dyson for the apartment, DC65. So I'd have 2.
Just because I am who I am.
That's time?
That's a phone for YouTube. No, not right now. I'm making a YouTube video.
Oh, you made anything for YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's Jordan Eagle Horse. That's my friend Jordan Eagle Horse there. But anyway, yeah, plan to buy a Dyson for a new apartment. That way, yeah, I might have 2. I have 2 Dysons. DC65, my DC33. And yes, I see in the comments, and I guess I'll cover this. I see in the comments on the videos about like the spot scrubber and how, so you comment, some have commented on how they didn't understand what was being said or didn't understand the words, or the terrible video, or the video was poor quality. Again, that's because I was using a shitty camera feature on a rinky-dink cell phone. This is my new cell phone. I'm going to check it. I'm guessing it's pretty clear in quality and sound. So, yeah. Please feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. if you feel free to make any comments about this, or if you're a single parent or whatever, want to drop a comment, please go right ahead. Again, this video wasn't meant to offend any single mothers. I mean, if I did, I apologize. That's not the intention. My intention is to just get something off my chest. And to subscribers that have recently subscribed to my YouTube account, that if I didn't get a chance to subscribe back to you, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'll do my best to entertain you. And hope, maybe soon I'll make a video with, with my girlfriend Samantha, and she'll say, she can say hi to you guys, do a video about that, and, who knows, so, that's it for now. I'm going to go in the dorm. I'm going to enjoy some peanut butter M&Ms, and I'm going to surf YouTube and Facebook. Maybe play some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Friends, that game. I'm sure this time I have enough coins. So I'm just going to go in and chill. But please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again. Until then, see you later. Oh, God damn it. Hang on. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Speaking of that, I just tried pressing the button. It didn't work. I'll press stop button. Guess this new phone's different. Sorry about that. Again, rate, comment, subscribe. Until then, see you later.